When you think of Apple, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For almost everyone, it's the iPhone, right? Every single year, millions of people wait patiently in line, sometimes literally camping out overnight on the sidewalk, just to get their hands on the newest model. The news covers these launches like they're historic global events, and social media just buzzes with relentless excitement. So to most of the world, Apple is simply a smartphone manufacturer. They're the company that makes that glowing rectangle in your pocket. But the truth, hiding just beneath the surface, well, it's actually far more fascinating.
Okay, let's dive into this because we really need to challenge that basic assumption. What if I told you that the physical smartphone you're holding right now isn't actually the company's biggest long-term moneymaker? To understand exactly how a tiny startup in a garage grew into one of the most powerful and profitable tech empires in human history, we have to look way past the tip of the iceberg. We have to figure out what truly drives their massive, sustained profits.
So here is the bombshell. The iPhone? It is not the end product. It is essentially a Trojan horse. It's this beautifully designed, incredibly useful gateway drug that is specifically designed to pull you into a massive, invisible walled garden. You see, while competitors are out there fighting tooth and nail just to sell a piece of hardware, Apple uses the iPhone to quietly invite you into an ecosystem that you will likely never, ever leave.
To uncover the layers of this brilliant business empire, we're going to follow a bit of a treasure map today. We'll start by looking beyond the iPhone. Then we'll explore the ecosystem trap, uncover the hidden profit machine, break down the premium pricing strategy, and finally, take a look at the future of Apple.
All right, part 1, Beyond the iPhone. Let's travel back in time for a second, to January 2007. When Steve Jobs stood on that Macworld stage, he didn't just pitch a new phone, he pitched 3 products in one: a widescreen iPod, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communicator. This sleek, multi-touch display completely shattered the bulky smartphone industry basically overnight. It was an absolutely revolutionary moment. But here's what's truly incredible. The early investors and insiders? They knew a secret. Capturing your pocket was only ever step 1 of a much larger, sweeping strategy.
Which brings us to part 2, the ecosystem trap.
From day 1, the iPhone was engineered with this hidden superpower. It was perfectly designed to sync with absolutely every subsequent product Apple would ever release down the line. They weren't just building a phone, they were building the foundation of an entire environment. Think about your own experience for a minute, or maybe someone you know. Step 1, you buy the iPhone. It's great, but then step 2, you want some wireless earphones, so you buy AirPods because, well, they pair instantly. Then step 3 hits. Your photos are filling up your phone, so you just subscribe to iCloud for seamless storage. Boom. Without even realizing it, you've stepped right into the trap. You haven't just bought a phone, you've adopted a whole platform.
So, the crucial point is the network business effect. In environmental science, an ecosystem is all about how living things interact. In Apple's business, it means every single new purchase makes everything else you've already bought from them way more valuable. Your Apple Watch magically unlocks your Mac. Your AirPods effortlessly auto-switch from your iPad to your iPhone without you even touching a button. Your text messages are just waiting for you on your laptop. It all works so seamlessly, almost as if it was designed for one specific person. And because it all works together perfectly, leaving that ecosystem to buy a competitor's phone becomes incredibly difficult. Honestly, it's nearly impossible.
Let's move on to part 3, the hidden profit machine.
Once you are safely tucked inside that ecosystem, that is when the real monetization begins. These are the massive financial engines lurking right beneath the surface that absolutely do not require the heavy manufacturing overhead of building a brand new physical smartphone. This quote really sums it up perfectly. Other companies sell products. Apple sells an experience. See, when a competitor sells a phone, the transaction is basically over. But when Apple sells an iPhone, the transaction is just starting. By selling an ongoing experience, Apple continually monetizes a user long after that initial physical purchase, through software, services, and digital marketplaces.
The foundation of this machine relies on 2 massive digital pillars. First up is the App Store. I mean, just imagine building a business where other people do all the hard work, they take 100% of the financial risks to build the apps, and you just get to take a percentage of the profits. That is the genius of the App Store. Apple built the marketplace and they earn unbelievable revenues from an ecosystem they didn't even have to code themselves. Then you have services. We're talking iCloud, Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, and Apple Arcade. These keep users totally locked in while generating massive, recurring monthly revenue. It is brilliant.
But wait, the hidden profit machine isn't just digital. We have to shift our focus from the macro down to the micro. Think about those everyday items: charging cables, power adapters, dongles, phone cases. While competitors might view these as cheap throwaways, for Apple, these are billion-dollar accessories. And we're talking about profit margins rumored to be upwards of 80%. Because you already spent a premium on the phone itself, you are highly likely to spend just a little bit more on the nice branded accessory to go with it. This accessories business, all by itself, is worth tens of billions of dollars.
That takes us to part 4, the premium pricing strategy. If you walk into any electronics store, you'll immediately notice that Apple products are rarely, if ever, the cheapest option on the table. So why do we happily pay that premium? It really comes down to psychology and lifestyle, and this brilliantly illustrates the divide in the tech world. The competitor strategy often focuses on high volume and low price. Think of companies rolling out dozens of different phone models every single year just to capture whatever market share they can find. But the Apple strategy? Low volume of models, high price, and selling an ecosystem experience. Apple rarely competes directly on price. They compete with themselves to create the most desirable premium experience possible. You aren't sitting there comparing specs, you're paying for trust and a feeling of quality.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is what we call the illusion of scarcity. Unlike competitors who just flood the market with devices, Apple carefully controls its product lineup and its supply chain. By strictly limiting the number of devices they release and tightly controlling when and where you can actually get them, they create this intense, feverish anticipation. This allows them to secure total dominance, not by selling to 100 different types of people, but by selling premium upgrades to the exact same loyal customers over and over again for life.
And finally, part 5, the future of Apple. Every tech giant eventually faces the threat of decline, right? Global smartphone sales have actually begun to slow down. The competition out there is fierce, and supply chains are incredibly complex to manage nowadays. Apple knows they have to look at emerging technologies to survive and maintain their dominance. And their strategy for survival is what we can call invisible integration. While other tech companies are scrambling, rushing out to release flashy standalone AI gadgets and competing voice assistants, Apple has a completely different advantage. They don't need to force a brand new gadget into your life. Instead, they'll just seamlessly embed artificial intelligence into the ecosystem you already live in. They'll use AI to organize your photos, summarize your long documents, and draft your emails perfectly right on the exact devices you already check 100 times a day.
Let's move to and see how this builds across their history. In 2001, they dominated the music industry with the iPod. In 2007, they took over communication with the iPhone. In 2015, they transformed wearables and health tracking with the Apple Watch. And now, moving through 2024 and beyond, they're playing the long game with spatial computing through the Vision Pro right alongside their massive AI integration. They aren't just reacting to random trends, they're absorbing new technologies directly into their existing, highly profitable ecosystem.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty vital question based on everything we've explored in this explainer today. Are you buying a phone or are you buying a lifestyle? The incredible truth about Apple is that their greatest product was never just the physical iPhone. The iPhone was merely the key that unlocked the door to an entirely new world of digital services, seamless accessories, and a carefully curated experience that is just incredibly hard to leave. So the next time you tap your screen, ask yourself, who really has who in their pocket? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to Wealth Decoded for more of our business, finance, and tech explainers. Turn on the bell to get notified when a new video is uploaded. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.